Brad met with Beyond Stillness for 9 weeks to articulate and publicly share this story of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope. To learn more about our programs and services, or to sponsor a guest on their story crafting journey, please visit www.beyondstillness.org. This week on Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, we welcome guest Brad McKenzie to share his powerful and vivid stroke recovery story filled with life-threatening urgency, deep peace, resilience, and the pursuit of connection and purpose. We dive into ways small acts of kindness illuminate unique paths towards trust and create a foundation for strength to move forward. Join us as Brad shares how these quiet moments of connection become turning points in his journey.
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke. Stroke offers a powerful, life-changing shift in perspective. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Beyond Stillness offers a moment of pause for storytelling and reflection. Ultimately, we create a welcoming environment that reveres the moment beyond stroke's paralysis. Still moments unite humanity and divinity. I'm your host, Molly Bucola. As we begin today, we take a moment of pause, a moment to honor the way wisdom has emerged through recovery. And we give thanks. Now, Brad's story.
On November 23rd, 2020, I was cross-country skiing between the trees at Ski Bowl with my kids, Adeline, 13, and Stuart, 10. The sky was overcast as we glided a mile to the red chairlift. A lift operator was inspecting the area before the season's opening. While my kids built a snowman, we chatted briefly, but as our conversation ended, he paused and asked, "Are you okay?" Later, I realized he had noticed the right side of my face drooping. "I'm good," I replied, not realizing what he was reacting to. He drove off on his snowmobile, a sled trailing behind him. Shortly afterwards, I collapsed to the ground. My first worry was my kids. They kept asking for my phone to call for help, but I couldn't reach into my pocket. My right side wasn't working. Looking back, it's surreal to think my survival was in my children's hands. Adeline had recently read the book, Falling Over Sideways. The story centers on an 8th grade girl, the same age as Adeline, whose father had a stroke. Adeline noted my stroke symptoms: face droop, loss of speech, and mobility. It took the kids 5 to 10 minutes to find 2 women skiing in the opposite direction. When they arrived, one held me while the other took the kids into the lift operator's shelter to keep warm. The lift operator from earlier returned, loaded me into the sled. He radioed ahead to his team, and we all met on the east side of Ski Bowl. By then, it was nearly 2 hours from the start of the event, and then they loaded me into the ambulance. I was overwhelmed with worry for my kids, and then everything shifted. Black, gray, White lights flickered like static of an old TV, impossibly bright. A deep, indescribable peace washed over me. A voice said, "Don't worry, your kids are fine. Come with me." It was the most profound sense of calm I ever felt. Peace, but multiplied 1,000,000 times over. 2 days later, I woke up in Kaiser Hospital's ICU, a total mess. My memories are patchy. I was choking on my saliva, and my wife had to turn me over to clear it regularly. It was the height of COVID, and the hospital was scrambling, shutting down areas to convert them into COVID units. Chaos. My first clear memory was being wheeled down the hall by a nurse with my wife, Elizabeth, walking beside me. I looked up, locked eyes with her, and spoke one of my clearest sentences. "Let's just check out early." She laughed at the hotel reference. I wasn't joking, but we weren't escaping that easily. I had thought we were headed home. My wife calls me a highly motivated person and warned the nurses that I'd try anything to do what I set my mind to, including checking out the hospital. She was right. The next memory is trying to get out of bed and determined to get out of there. I immediately collapsed to the floor. My brother, Ethan, drove up from the Bay Area, California, to relieve my wife, who had been by my side 24/7. As a physician, he reassured me I was in good hands. He had even gone to Stanford with my neurosurgeon. I felt grateful, alive, cared for, and somehow exactly where I needed to be. But everything felt unreal. At one moment, God was reassuring me that my job as a father was done, offering me an otherworldly sense of peace, more peace than anything I'd ever known. Next, I was back. Wow, I'm here, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't get out of bed. I felt like a modern day Job. I had so many mountains to climb. I say God because it's the only reference I have. There was no announcement. I'm God. If I were an atheist, I may put other words on it, yet there's no way it could dull the light. It was so bright. It was authentic and it was intense. 14 days after the stroke, I transferred to Rio, the Legacy Stroke Center in Northwest Portland, the place to be for stroke recovery. In rehab, they asked about my goals. I managed to say through broken speech, I want to ski. I grew up at the base of Mount Hood. Towering trees, snow-covered landscapes were the norm. I felt most alive, most connected, most whole on the mountain with my loved ones. I found the words, I want to ski. My kids were stuck in remote learning. Everyone was masked due to COVID. I wanted to take them to the slopes, to be active, social, and surrounded by those trees. Looking back, maybe skiing wasn't just about me. Maybe it was more about doing something together, reclaiming a sense of normalcy and freedom. Maybe it was about finding that deep sense of peace again. So I set my goal to ski. But first I had to walk. When I graduated from the wheelchair, they gave me a sturdy walker, step by step, except my right side wouldn't move, reminding me every part of the struggle is critical. Each day I got up, either my wife or brother stood on my left side because I lacked vision on my right. Each day I was determined to go a little further. By the end of 2 weeks, I could walk down the hall and back. I made it home in time for Christmas 2020. Elizabeth had contractors install railings around the house. Thoughtful of her, but I was pretty sure I wouldn't need them. I pushed myself to walk every day, avoiding the railings as much as possible. Still, it was reassuring to have them there. I was just safe enough. They are still in the house today, a reminder of that stage in my recovery. A motivator, really. I need to be safe, but I also need to push myself. That balance looks different now, but the drive remains the same. I spent time in my basement going through a routine I knew so well. I lined up my skis, strapped on my boots, and clicked in. I wanted to get a feel for it. I also wanted to practice. When I have a vision, I know it's going to happen. If it takes 20 years, 10 years, or 6 months, every day I wake up and I think, I'm going to work on it. I worked so hard to get back up on the mountain. At first, I would go up with my family and hang out and watch everyone ski. I felt the excitement building. I distinctly remember one weekend I so yearned to ski with everyone, but instead I just walked the dog. I knew I would ski the next weekend. The day I finally clicked in at the mountain, I was ready. I had a very mild apprehension, but felt really confident that day. A storm blew in and snow glistened in the sunlight as it grazed the trees and refreshed the slopes. I dragged my right foot, but not as much as before. I knew it would fall into place once I got on the slopes. I learned to ski when I was 3. I was still figuring a lot of stuff about life at that age. I started on Bruno, a really basic run. After that, I quickly transitioned to Pucci. I just wanted to see if I could do it. My right foot was wobbly. I kept trying to pull the 2 legs together. It was exhausting but invigorating. I worked 6 months to get back on my skis. It was pretty smooth, but I got up on skis, on the mountain, in the trees, in the snow with my family. It was a bright moment. Not long ago, I couldn't walk, and now I was skiing. It was a huge victory. It made me want to keep working. When I think about that moment, I'm filled with joy and also gratitude. I'm grateful my kids were with me that day when I had the stroke. I'm grateful the ladies on the slope sat with us, for the man in the snowmobile, for my wife, my brother, the gracious acts of kindness of all the people that saved my life that day. They have propelled me forward, illuminating my path. They make me want to keep going. Unfortunately, not every moment feels illuminating. Daily life at home was very different at times, isolating. My kids, my wife would log on to their machines and go to school and work, and I was left alone. Throughout my life, I've been reserved, usually intentional with my words and relationships. Only saying what needs to be said and investing in people closest to me. My reserved nature wasn't helping me after the stroke. I was alone, struggling to find words and purpose. I needed to connect with others, to get up, to get out, move around, and talk to people. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. My physical, occupational, and speech therapists kept dismissing me. I was working so hard in therapy and at home, trying to prove efforts were paying off, but they kept telling me I no longer needed to be there. I did need to be there. I was improving, but still had so much more work. I knew I had many mountains to climb. I needed a therapist, a program that matched my commitment level. In January of 2022, I got my first newsletter from Portland State university speech pathologist researchers team. It was the first one post-COVID. In the newsletters was a listing of resources, including Sarah Bellows Bakery and Workshop, a nonprofit organization that empowers adults with acquired brain injuries to regain purpose and community through baking. Their rehabilitation program offers hands-on work opportunities, fostering identity and connection. Exactly what I needed at this point. The bakery has a positive atmosphere. People there are supportive and patient. It's a safe space for us to try new things, practice, and share. It's hard work, but we have a lot of fun. We all live with varying abilities and challenges, and takes time to gauge each other while changing our lives. When I first stepped into the bakery, I saw 4 baking stations supported by speech pathologist and Dr. Rick Limoncello. I posted up at one of them. At first, it was very hard for me to measure ingredients. As I got better, I started having conversations, and I got to a point that I was driving conversations and baking at the same time. One day during lunch, with all the people that were working, Dr. Limoncello, I was talking to him, and I asked this, how do I keep advancing? What do I need to do? And he goes, well, you just have to speak as much as you can. Speaking is the key for you getting back all your words. Wow, I was going to have to totally change my nature. As a dentist, I was so good at listening and distilling down their words to simple words that could be understood. And now I'd have to switch roles and become the talkative person. But I wanted to do that because I wanted to get better. And I just set my mind to it because I had to. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work at Sarah Bellows Bakery and to have found a whole community there. Many of us now connect outside the bakery. We meet up around town, go to coffee, explore together. I always try to bring others into the fold. Stroke and traumatic brain injury can be so isolating, yet I'm so grateful to be where I am now. Finally, I have a sense of belonging. I found a whole new group of friends that have purpose and depth. Our challenge has forced us to reflect and find new ways to connect. As I look back, my life has forever changed. November 23rd, 2020, I experienced an impossibly bright light and a deep, indescribable peace that washed over me. I heard a voice. Don't worry, your kids are fine. Come with me. It was the most profound sense of calm I ever felt. Peace multiplied 1,000,000 times over. I want everyone to experience that light. As a father, I want my children to experience life and ponder the light. It's a personal thing. Doesn't matter what other people believe. It's what you believe, what your thoughts are, and what relationships with the light you'll develop. I experience a fraction of that life-changing moment when I'm on Mount Hood, skiing, or hiking. That feeling returns, an overwhelming sense of awe and wonder. It is so simple and profound at the same time. I hope everyone has the opportunity to feel that, find that, and live in relation to that. I continue to seek moments of peace in nature and community, especially with the people I love. When I go skiing, it's a deeper meaning for me than just fun. When I look around at the trees, snow, and sunlight, I feel lucky to be there and part of the experience. I have a deep feeling that those words are true. Don't worry, you're fine. Come with me. I'm grateful to be part of the snow, part of the trees, part of the wind, part of this world. And in those moments, I know I belong. Maybe that's what this means. Connection, purpose, belonging. When I first woke up from the stroke, I felt like I lost so much. I felt like purgatory. Now I have a sense of choosing, and I'm grateful to be here. I found more. I welcome the sense of awe and wonder more and offer small acts of kindness. The closer I feel to the sense of peace and light that day.
Storytelling empowers us to share our experiences in a way that invites others to reflect on their own. In a moment, I will read a few questions. You can also find them in the episode description. Now, community conversation prompts. What moment of peace has surprised you in recovery? How do you reconnect with it? What helps you find your voice again? We'd love to hear your reflections. Join the conversation on Instagram, Stories After Stroke, or Facebook at Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke.
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org. Another way to support is to like, share, or subscribe to our weekly show.
Thank you for listening to Part 1, Brad McKenzie's story. Stick with us for Part 2, Brad McKenzie's interview. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Brad's journey reminds us how quiet moments of connection can open the door to resilience, meaning, and renewed purpose. We hope Brad's story stays with you and sparks reflection on your own path. Remember, as part of the stroke community, you are more than supportive. You are inspirational. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe, or leave a review to help others find these voices too. To support more stroke survivors in articulating and publicly sharing their journeys, please consider donating to Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke.